Murders, mysteries, unexplained stories, and our family's crazy opinions on them all. Join us now. The Family School of Thought is in session.
Okay, everybody, welcome again to the Family School of Thought. I think we got an exciting show today. We're all fired up and ready to go. As you can see, I'm at, I don't know if you can read it or not, but I'm on Fox and Weasel Trail on location here, getting ready for the Weasel Fest. And, okay, let's get going. Jess.
Sounds good.
To talk about today.
So some fun facts. Mental floss, amazing facts. In Victorian age, hat makers regularly used mercury, which fastened the felts to the hats, which led to high rates of poisoning and neurological damage. Hence the phrase, "the mad as a hatter."
Mm-hmm.
So,
really? I didn't know
people got mercury poisoning and from their hat.
This happened for a really long time too.
Right. What
did
Dad?
they use mercury for?
It was when fastening felt hats, so like the felt material. I don't know. You would think I didn't know mercury got like a gluey texture.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
So,
but it went on for a really long time. Like it wasn't just like it stopped in like once. They did it for a really long. Over, yeah, like they did it for a really really long time. Like I think up until like 1970s or something like that.
I remember even just when you were a baby, you could get mercury. And that was when they had a big stop on mercury, using mercury. Like you would use it for.
Well, it was dangerous because it was in all of our thermometers.
Well, I can remember actually when she was a baby, we had a thermometer and it broke
open.
And it broke. You couldn't pick up the mercury. You would like, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's interesting. And it's interesting where these like sayings come from, and 100 years later they're still saying that's the saying, but they don't know where it came from or what it means. Yeah.
And that's why Alice in Wonderland had the Mad Hatter. There you go. That makes sense.
And he made hats.
That's awesome.
And he made hats. he was all up in that mercury.
Yeah, he dealt with all the mercury.
We're all mad around here.
Okay. All right, Cass. You got a good song for us this week?
Yeah, I kind of do. I got this one.
She said it's all gonna end, it might as well be my fault.
Little Matchbox 20.
She sleeps when it's raining, and she screams, and her voice is strange. She says,
baby.
All right.
Yeah. I like that. Takes me back to like 5th grade.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these like early 90s, like late 90s or like obviously just 90s in general songs are very like everybody knows them, but it's kind of now you're finding out like what they're really written about and what they're talking about. Like, so this is obviously 3 a.m. by Matchbox 20. And the song was written by the lead singer, Rob Thomas, when he was taking care of his cancer-stricken mom when he was only 12 years old. So she was diagnosed and he basically had to take care of her and, listen to her when she would be, emotional and upset and be her like shoulder to cry on. And so this song is really, he has come forward like in later years and said that it was kind of, the song is more about the relationship he wishes he had with his mom, of her taking care of him instead of the other way around. It's cold outside or it's raining outside and here's a jacket kind of thing. And it it really shaped him as a person and as a artist and a singer. He wishes he had this relationship where he was being taken care of instead of him having to take care of his mom.
Wow.
So it's cool. A little sad and like interesting that
and it really is sad because We don't, in today's society, you really don't know how many kids really do take care of their parents.
Yeah,
As a
right. And
child.
it is,
And
this is, yeah, this is just,
Right.
it's something that we're hearing a lot more about of not even
Yeah.
when the parents are sick, but just sometimes, you know, when there's bigger families, it's upon the like older child to take care of younger children that parents don't have time to take care of, or if they have jobs, they have to take care of the kids, you know, instead of the parents or do daycare and stuff like that. It's like a good song to like kind of really talk about all of it in general.
Right.
right. That's good song.
Good song.
Hmm.
Yes. Good story behind that.
Song for the week. Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Okay. Well, my story this week is I'm sure you guys, I know, Jess, we've kind of talked about this, but I don't know if you guys seen the documentary Staircase. That's on
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love this
very,
story.
very interesting story. And actually, I just found out today it's going to be a movie on HBO.
It's out. It's
Oh,
out.
really?
I think it's supposed to be. Is it a movie or a series?
I think it's a mini series maybe on
Okay. Yeah.
HBO, and it starts the
Uh,
5th, I believe.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow.
But yeah, very interesting story. And I remember watching the documentary. It feels like years ago I watched it, but anyways, it's about Michael Peterson and
Mhm.
Kathleen. Well, first let's start from the beginning. Michael was married to Kathleen Hunt, his first wife, and Kathleen was known to be exceptionally a smart person. Um, she was the first woman in the physical engineering program at Duke University, first woman there. And she earned her master's degree. In 1973, after graduating, she moved to Greensboro, North Carolina, and went to work as a IT pharmaceutical department. Um, she was really well liked by her co-workers, and they all respected her work that she was doing. Soon after she went there, she met her first husband, Fred Atwater, and those two got married and they had a daughter. The
Mhm.
marriage lasted about 10 years, and then in about 1985, she got a divorce. At that time, soon after that, she was introduced to the father of her daughter's friends at school, and that had been Michael Peterson. He also attended Duke University, and he did some law school after that, but I don't think he ever really graduated from that. But what he did do is after that, he went into he got married to his first wife, and he went into the service and went over to Germany. And he was a analyst for the Department of Defense. And his first wife was Patricia. Soon after they got married, he went into the service during Vietnam, and he was there for a very short time because he got into a car accident and was injured, and he became permanently disabled. The couple then moved to West Germany, and they had two boys, Clayton and Todd. Patricia worked as an elementary school teacher at the military base. While working there, she became friendly with another teacher named Elizabeth, and her husband also had two children, two girls, Margaret and Martha. The two families became really good friends, and they got to the point where they just did everything together. And suddenly, Elizabeth's husband, George, died of a heart attack out of nowhere. So the family was really upset, and so the Petersons kind of stepped up and helped take care of their girls, and Michael really kind of took those two girls in and, like, became their fathers, So Shockingly, though, at about 2 years later, Elizabeth dies. So now those two girls have no parents. And the medical examiner reported that she passed away due to a brain hemorrhage. And they had a name for it, but I can't pronounce what kind it is. It's a disease. Both girls were completely devastated, losing their parents. Michael then became their legal guardian. Next, Michael and Patricia marriage went bad. So after that, their marriage went bad, and he returns to the United States with the two girls and leaving his two sons and his wife in Germany. And he moves to South Carolina. And then after that, he formally adopts these two girls. So, oddly enough, he gets a divorce, leaves his two boys and wife in Germany, comes back here and adopts two girls that they kind of picked up after that. So he begins working as a columnist in the local newspaper, the Sun Herald. The two boys eventually come to live with him. So now he's got the four kids, and he's working at the paper as a columnist, and he's really making a name for himself because he's writing articles about the police department and the mayor of the town, and he's causing a lot of chaos and stirring the pot, and really kind of making some enemies. He also starts writing novels about his time in the military. And remember, he wasn't there very long, but they're novels, but he starts writing those, and he actually starts doing really well at that, and he gets a $500,000, $500,000 advance for one of his books. And at the time, they were going to make it into a movie, so he's talking to Hollywood. He's living it up. And then he meets his second wife, and they meet through the daughters, and her name is Kathleen. So they meet then, and they hit it off right away, and so they're it starts building this family connection between all of them. And soon after, they had this big ordeal where they asked all the kids if they all want to move in together and live as one family. And of course, the kids were all excited about it, and they buy this 9,000 square mansion to move into, right? Then Kathleen and Michael get married in 1996, and they appear to have it all in the community. They're really well liked in the community. I think he tries to run for mayor of the town, and they're on lots of committees, and the whole town really reveres them and thinks that they like their story of how they all kind of come together from all these different places, and both are successful. And everybody just thought they had the perfect family until they had, in December 9th of 2001, Kathleen and Michael they stayed up late drinking wine at the pool, outside at the pool, and Kathleen decides to go upstairs to go to bed.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was it a mega pint of wine?
It was enough to make them drunk, the two.
So a mega pint. Got it. Just wanted to be clear.
Well, the police were a little intrigued about the wine, so maybe we should ask them. But anyways, so he stays up late, and at 2:30, he decides to go in the house, and he finds Kathleen at the bottom of the stairs. And she's all bloody, and he assumes she fell down the stairs. So
okay, what? If somebody falls down the stairs and starts, they're going to make a bunch of noise, and you wouldn't think that he would.
Well, he was out at the pool, and you can see pictures of the house online. The pool is not like ours right outside the door. it's back. There's a pool area in the back of the property. So it was a long ways away. I could see her falling down and him not knowing.
And none of the kids were home.
None of the kids were there. Yeah. So he calls 911 and he's in a frantic and he's confused. He doesn't, they're asking lots of questions. He doesn't know anything. But he's just in a panic state. He just keeps saying, just quick, get here every time they try to ask him stuff. When the first responders do come, they're shocked at the amount of blood that's everywhere, for somebody falling down the steps. The blood is just everywhere. And they're really shocked about it. And they really start kind of questioning him, like, what's going on? And he claims that she was drunk and that she had been taking, I think, Valium, and that she had went to bed earlier and must have fallen down these steps. And then he doesn't realize it until he goes to bed. One of the things also they were really intrigued about was the blood was just everywhere. It wasn't like just in one spot, and it was dried all around her, meaning she had been there a long time for the blood to dry. And then, of course, she dies at the age of 48. At the hospital, though, I believe she was still alive when they took her out. And he just says, they had watched a movie that night and then went out to the pool and drank, and that she had had way too much, but she decided to go to bed and had taken some Valium. And again, the investigators just can't get past the amount of blood at the scene. They find the empty wine bottle, and they find, the glasses, and it's apparent that that's what they were doing. And they keep on questioning him, and they just kind of feel like he's very confused in his answers. He can't really answer anything, and things were just not adding up. So on December 20th, they arrest him for her murder. And the town is really in an uproar. They're kind of, because they were very well liked in the town, and people just can't believe that he would do this. And all the kids are on his side. There was like no way he would do this. They just thought everybody thought they were one big happy family. One of the things they did do, though, after investigating, they found out that they were in a lot of debt, and that her job was coming to an end, and they were really going to have financial problems coming up very soon. And that she had it was a weird amount of money. It was like $1,865,000, and insurance. So, he was released with a $850,000 bond. And of course, he immediately goes on TV claiming his innocence, and he's working up everybody, to bring them onto his side, So he's doing lots of interviews, and the public is all leaning towards him. The autopsy, however, showed that she had 7 lacerations on her head, so it wasn't like one hit. She was gone. It was like 7 times something hit her. Did you guys see this documentary at all?
Yes.
One of the
I
things
don't think I have.
One of the things I couldn't get past when I was watching the documentary was at the bottom of the steps, and this was like a really steep stairway. It was like a back stairway.
It's a back stairway.
And it was enclosed, like in a hallway type thing. But at the bottom, there was this metal rail thing. It looked like maybe it had one of those chairlift things going up the side,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they never addressed that in the documentary. And I thought, well, that seems kind of important if she fell down and hit her head on. That's what she could have hit her head on. But they never addressed it.
Yeah, but 7 times? Though, that's the thing, is that,
7 times.
Even if she falls from the top of the stairs, is she falling on her head every single time? She'd have to literally, completely...
Well, and he's claiming, or the prosecution, anyhow, his attorney is trying, I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit here, that she tried 4 times to go up the stairs and then fell back, went up again, fell back. It wasn't just
I
one
remember that.
fall. Because they proved, one, that she was hit with something. And her sister said, I gave them for Christmas this fire poke, one of those poker sticks for your fireplace. And they really, really liked it. It wasn't just an average one. I don't know. It came from some place. It was an extra nice one. And she said that should be by the fireplace, but it wasn't. So they had that in mind. And and the blood splatters, like it wasn't like it happened one time. It was like there was a set of blood splatters, then there was another set of blood. So it was like repeatedly blood was squirting out.
Which is odd for a fall. Like no matter what, it's odd for a fall.
Right.
Like whether or not she hit her head 7 times falling down, it's odd that there's blood splatter from each hit
throughout the whole staircase.
Yeah, and they were really focused on how dry the blood was around her too. Like
she'd been there for hours.
Time, right,
or days.
Which he says I stayed out the pool a long time after she left. It wasn't like I, finished my wine and went up. I sat out there and by myself.
Which could have happened because many times I go to bed and you stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning.
It happened.
Fall asleep. I would have fallen asleep downstairs, and
I don't think this story is fishy.
Sitting around the bonfire, you guys can go to bed, and I might sit around that bonfire all night, by myself. It happens, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the blow stick was missing during the investigation. However, they end up finding this out in the garage, and it was like dirty and cobwebs on it. It wasn't like it had been cleaned up, but they find it like a month later, which was really odd. And they're like, how did the police miss it first? And now all of a sudden there it is. The prosecution, they proved that Michael was, prone to lie. He told a lot of lies, and misrepresented himself. And they went back to his novels about his career in Vietnam. Well, he was only there for a very short time. He claimed to have a Purple Heart, that he was, and he wasn't. The car accident he got injured wasn't even through a military. It was just, driving somewhere. So they found out a lot. Yeah.
Do you remember what his disability was? I don't remember him having.
I want to say it was his back.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. When I was doing this, nothing came up, but it seems like in the documentary it was his back. Yeah. Because I thought the same thing. If he was permanently disabled, he did a lot of stuff after that.
Right. That's why I don't remember.
He was a writer. It wasn't physical work or anything.
Right.
So he said he had a Purple Heart, and he didn't. And they kind of went through his life, and he had spent his life. And he admitted to that. He admitted that, he sold himself a lot by just coming up with lies, and he's, exaggerating things. The blow stick was found in the garage. The night, very interesting. I thought this was very interesting. They showed that the day that she fell down the steps, earlier in the day, her computer crashed. So she went up to his office and was using his computer and found that he was having affairs with men, and he had, I don't know why he would do this, but he would actually, this was in, what did I say, can't remember what year it was, but internet was fairly new. And instead of just blogging and stuff, he was printing out all the blogs. So he was printing out all the conversations.
The emails.
And there was a lot of them, and they, and he was not just doing it over the internet. He was really meeting with these guys and, having affairs. And they even brought one into court. He was an escort that he had flown in to his hometown for him to spend the time with, and so he claimed that she was aware that he was a bisexual, and she didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't bother her. And I'm like, okay, but she found out the night she come up dead about this. So, what were you guys talking about at the pool?
And
I'm
well,
sure.
and whether or not he's bisexual and she knows that, an affair is a different story.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Having an
So,
affair is a
right,
different
right.
story.
Right. Well, first of all, I'm not thinking she's going to be with, well, whatever. Maybe she didn't care, but you're right. I mean, he's acting on all this. He's having,
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
having
Yeah,
affairs.
that's
And
two
he's-
different
And
situations.
it's all over his computer and all these pictures of these guys. And he's like really documenting all these encounters he's having. And she just finds that out that night. So that was really weird. But he said she didn't care.
In his
then-
opinion.
He had always had affairs with men, and she didn't care.
That's his opinion.
But
She's
again,
dead.
yeah, if she's already
That's
dead,
his
she
story.
can't counter it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You only hear one side of the story.
right. After she's dead.
Right.
I'm
It wasn't okay, or she wouldn't be dead.
If it was okay with her.
They got into a big fight over it, and he killed her. And now his story is she thought it was okay.
And then again, it comes to find out they're in a lot of debt, and that
Mhm.
they're going to be really bad because her job is ending, and that she had this large insurance policy coming to her.
Mhm.
And during this trial, this Elizabeth, the woman, the mother of the two girls that he has, her sister hears about this going on and says, wait a minute. My sister was found dead at the bottom of some stairs. And at the time, they blamed it on her brain hemorrhage, thinking she fell down the stairs because of her brain hemorrhage. But it was the same situation. The nanny claimed the amount of blood was just everywhere. I mean, it was like unbelievable that somebody would bleed that bad from falling down the steps. And she had to clean it up. They didn't even investigate it. They come and got her and left the nanny to clean the mess up, So
He got away with it once, so he could get away with it again.
Well, so she comes to trial and gives this story, and also the night of her death, they had dinner. She and the two girls came to their house for dinner, and he decides to walk the three home, the mother and Elizabeth and her two daughters home, and then he's seen running away from their house.
Mhm.
And also, well, I will get to that in a minute. And she was also, they went back and they pulled her, dug up her body and stuff. And she had a bunch of lacerations on her head. Same thing,
Mhm.
But they didn't even look at it at the time. They just assumed she had a brain hemorrhage, fell down the
Fell down the
steps. They didn't look at all the lacerations on her head.
Well, they probably didn't even think to, like, they probably didn't think to.
She probably thought she got him by when she fell.
Falling, yeah.
Um,
Because I think, if I remember from the documentary correctly, in Elizabeth's case, the stairs were like out in the open, but they were like very like they were like really thick wood. So like if you hit your head on it, it's not gonna like break the wood. It's like you're gonna do some damage.
on Elizabeth, it was them kind of like 60s steps where it's just like this. There's nothing
Floating
in between.
stairs.
Floating stairs going up. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah.
Where with Kathleen's, it was a really steep stairs, and they were in a hallway. It was a really confined area. Yeah. So Michael was found guilty in this trial and sent to jail, and he spent, I think, 5 years in jail. And during this 5 years, he's fighting this the whole time, and he decides to get another lawyer who they redo the case, which I didn't realize you could just say, I don't like the results. I'm going to start this all over again, but he found a lawyer that would do that.
Yeah.
And
It's called an appeal.
What's that?
It's an
Called
appeal.
an appeal.
You can appeal. Like
Well, no.
sometimes you have certain amount of appeals, but you can appeal any case. You just can't once you're found innocent, you can't be found guilty of the same crime.
Right.
Isn't
Or
that
vice
crazy?
versa.
That's the way it works.
The double jeopardy is you can't be
Double
found.
jeopardy.
Well, anyways, he
Yeah, you can't
appeals
be
it,
found. Yeah.
and he appeals it, and he finds the judge who will take it. His attorney still, everything's guilty, but he files this. Hold on a minute, and I'll look it up. Very he pleads guilty to voluntary manslaughter, and they give him 86 months in jail. Well, he's already served 89 months, so he walks away a free man. Isn't that
nice.
insane? Yeah,
That happens quite a bit. Where if you are in jail during like your trial and you only get like 6 months, but it took 6 months for your trial to happen, you don't
You're done.
like
You
you don't
served
go to
your time.
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you serve time.
but they.
Yep.
But he's
they,
out. He's out, so he can do it again.
He's out. He's out.
Yeah.
And
He's free.
the documentary that was on, what was it on?
This one's on Netflix. The like actual
Okay.
documentaries on
He
Netflix,
helped
but I
make
don't know
that
if it's.
documentary.
Yeah,
He
he's
helped make
interviewed.
the documentary.
His like prosecuting team are the people who produced this documentary.
And then I'm sure he's getting paid for the movie that's going to be made about him. So
I don't know because there's like some law
what
that
kind
you
of justice is
can't
in this
make
world?
money off a crime you've been found guilty of.
Maybe.
I think
I
that
don't know.
I
But
can't because
there's
that's the
other
same thing with like
angles
O.J.
somebody-
Simpson.
no, because he wasn't found guilty.
Oh.
There was somebody
Right.
else that like I don't know. It's a law where you can't make money off of something you've been
Okay.
found guilty of.
Well, probably his daughters did, who are defending him all the time. Actually, Caitlin, which was Kathleen's
Elizabeth.
daughter. Well, Kathleen,
No, yeah. You're right.
Kathleen's daughter, Caitlin, flips.
Mm-hmm.
She decides, no, this sounds way too guilty. And she never did, support him. And she sued him for $25 million, and they settled. I mean, who knows what she got. But so, I mean, that's a crazy world that somebody can get away with that.
Twice.
Twice.
Well, I mean, he didn't get away with it. He was found guilty. We just don't have a very good justice system where people who are found guilty of murder stay in jail for very long.
And
But he was found guilty.
And we want to put women in jail because they had a miscarriage.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's our misogynistic world.
Yeah.
For entertainment purposes only. But anyways, interesting case. So everybody's already seen that documentary, I take it?
No, I did not. I started to watch it.
I
but
haven't.
doing that.
Mom hasn't got to finish it yet.
When you
Okay.
said
I watched
that you
it
were
years ago. It seems like it was a long time ago.
You know,
It's out, but I think this was
now
like
that
early
we're talking
2000s.
about it,
Yeah, it's the
now that you're
original.
talking about it, I remember it being not addressed on the news and on 60 Minutes or something. It was addressed because I watched it somewhere and that he had done it to his first wife. And that's how it all come about, was because of the first wife's sister was the one who turned him in.
Right.
Was it his
I
first
probably
wife? I thought it was a friend of his wife that fell downstairs. I could be wrong. I think it was his first wife died, but it was like the friend of the family. But I don't remember.
It could be. Maybe it wasn't her sister.
I can't. No. Like that fell down the stairs. I don't think it was his first wife. I thought it was like a friend of.
Maybe it was a girl's.
Because it was the two girls. It was the two girls' moms. But I didn't think that. I thought
it wasn't his wife. They weren't married.
No. Yeah.
It was just.
Oh.
Right. They had become really good friends. And his first wife is still alive in Germany. And she
yes, you're right. Yeah.
In his defense.
You're right.
Right.
That's what I thought. I didn't think it was his first wife who died.
No,
No.
I said it wrong. Yeah, that girl, the two girls' mom was the one that
Mother.
fell down the steps.
Yes.
I'm sure I was telling you guys about it at the time I was watching the documentary. But
Yeah. Well, I just recently watched the documentary. I don't know if I've seen it before, but
So
I
there's the
obviously
movie.
listen to a lot of true crime podcasts, and that's a case that comes up all the time.
good. So, any questions or observations, or what do you guys think about that story?
I just think it's crazy.
Well,
Our
I
justice system is screwed still.
yeah, 100%. But even I don't know. There's so many people who still don't believe that the father did, like that Michael did it. And I think because they have watched the documentary, The Staircase, because that staircase is very biased of he didn't do it. Um, but it is like because like I said, like his prosecuting team are the people who are leading this
Right. He
documentary.
helps make that. He helps
So
them.
it is
Yeah,
very
so
biased, and
obviously
that's
it's
what
not
a lot
really-
of people see from this case. But I remember watching it, and I think it's like in the sixth or seventh episode, Michael is like in his study talking to his son about this case, and his son is like, what are you gonna do, Dad? Like, they're saying you murdered her, and he's like, well, you live and you learn.
Yeah, I remember
Like,
that.
you'll get over it. And
He's
it's
very
like,
nonchalant about it.
and you can see his son just kind of go like, oh my
Yeah.
God, my dad killed my mom. Like,
Right.
it's just like this sudden realization of like, oh my God, he did it.
Yeah, I remember
You would not be that
still.
nonchalant.
And
like
it was really
sticks at
weird
me.
of him to bring them into his house after that. You think he'd want everybody to stay out, like don't. But no, he wanted to show exactly, where she died and how it happened and all that. But it did bother me that rail, I don't know what it was, some kind of metal thing. Like they never addressed that. Like it's
It's
clearly
like a little
right there. Like, what is that?
Yeah. I also remember that
It still wouldn't make your blood splatter everywhere.
But I could see her hitting her head on
it
that.
hit her head. You can see her hitting her head, and there's blood spatter.
Right.
And that's another thing from this case is that before this case, blood splatter technicians, or like I don't know what they're called. There's like a phlebotomist, not a phlebotomist, but there's like a term for people who can basically say like this is how they were killed because this is what the blood splatter looked
That's
like.
what they specialize in. Yeah.
What they specialize in, but because of this case, there's like this big blood splatter specialist on this case that's like world renowned, and he's like, yeah, I can't remember if he said she was murdered or he wasn't murdered, or she wasn't murdered, but they found out he lied about this whole case, and so now before this, like blood spatter was admissible, or it was used in court, like you could use blood spatter in court as a proof. And now, because of this case and like finding out that this specialist lied about this whole case of how she died, it is no longer admissible in court to use blood splatter.
Right.
Because of like finding out about this case.
That's strange. Because
Also,
and now they have police can put a certain solution down and find out if she was killed in another room and then pushed down the stairs so it looked like she had fallen. So did they check to make sure that she wasn't killed in another room? I mean, is there blood that he had cleaned up?
Who knows?
Well, they think that he basically was like, they were fighting at the top of the stairs and he like hit her and like she fell. Isn't that right?
His attorneys kept trying to argue that she fell going up the stairs. Not
right. She like fell. She got confused, tried to get back up, and kept falling down the stairs.
And then falling back down.
Again, how does that make sense to you? Like, you're not like, even if you're confused and you're like, whoa, what happened? You're not gonna be like, let me go up the stairs. I just
if
keep going up the stairs.
You're not gonna fall, if you're drunk, you're not gonna fall backwards on the steps. You're gonna fall down on your face.
Well. When you're drunk, you don't have an equilibrium that like normal.
I don't know about that.
Falling down the stairs.
If you're trying to go up the stairs, you're going to crawl up and then slide back down.
Yeah, well, I don't know. One thing I remember of the documentary too, it seemed like there was a lot of stuff in it was like filler, like what's this got to do with anything? Like they made a big ordeal of just filing every paper, and it was like,
Oh yeah, because there was like a whole episode about what he was gonna do during the case. Like the prosecutor, like, what's my argument? Like there was a whole like I think 40 minutes of him arguing with the like projector, like person who run the projector during the case. Be like, this is not what I wanted the slide to look like, and you're like, who cares?
Right.
Like, what does this
And
matter?
he was like really, he kind of made it his career during this trial to, you know, go public and, you know, put on these interviews, and it was like, what are you doing? You know?
Mm-hmm.
It was like he was really excited to be in the spotlight or something, I guess.
Selling his job
selling
to
his
other people.
selling his story. Yeah. It was like he was selling a novel that he was writing. Yeah, it was weird. And he really had no, like you said, he was telling his son in several of those conversations, like, well, you know,
It happens.
it happens.
It happens.
People fall on steps. Yeah. So
craziness.
You learn from your mistakes to do it correctly the next time.
Right.
Yeah.
And he
Next
did.
time.
And so
It
he'll
is
have another
Without
time.
getting caught.
I can guarantee you in another 10, 15 years, 20 years, when everybody forgets about this, he'll marry and then kill another woman. And then you guys can say, hey, I remember that.
Show you that you can get an attorney to get you out of anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can.
If you've got the money, yeah.
You want.
You can get anything. You can get anything you want in life.
Even if you're found guilty, you get to tell the story the way you want it.
I mean, just like all of these prestige college men that are raping and doing stuff to girls because they got money, they get the attorneys, they get out. But
because they've got a future, a bright future that they don't want to mess up.
And they're still in college. They're still walking the streets.
Oh.
And the excuse is they're young men or they're young boys that are
the judge
trying to get it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
we wouldn't want to wreck their lives or anything.
Wouldn't want to wreck their lives.
Right. But we as women can't make our decision. Right. It's
not going to wreck our lives to, have a kid that we didn't want.
Right.
No, especially now.
Right.
But anyway, Michael definitely killed his wife.
Well, definitely.
Definitely killed his wife. Definitely killed his family friend. Yeah.
He got away with it. And he's going to get away with it again. He got away with it twice. And I can guarantee later in the years, he's going to get away with it again.
Sure
if he did it,
they're going to be like,
Yeah.
So what? He's going to be 80 years old. He's going to get to go to prison for his life. Whoop-de-do. He lived in 80 years and got away with it.
I agree, Mom.
Guess what? He doesn't have to pay room and board because at 80,
we do.
Yeah,
we do.
So, he got what he wanted in his life.
So this case has also spawned a lot of theories of like what really happened to Kathleen.
Yeah.
And one of them is even like an owl flew into the house and like basically attacked her when she was on the stairs.
I heard something like that.
And that's why she has all the lacerations. And like I think the prosecution actually like was really in on this one where they're like, owl like scratched her head and that's why she has the lacerations. And it matches up with the like talons of an owl.
Oh wow.
Wow. What people will say.
And also his prosecution basically came forward and said that because his gay affairs were found out, that is why prosecution found him guilty, or not prosecution, the jury found him guilty was because, he's gay and that we got to put the gay people away. And that was like the prosecution's whole argument of why he was found guilty, not because all these things clicked into place, was that because, they heard he was gay and that was so important to them to put a gay man away.
I knew there was some kind of like, they thought something like that. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the prosecution basically blamed his bisexuality on why he was found guilty.
That part of the documentary, I'm like, he's definitely guilty because there's no way she's gonna, okay, that's fine.
Well, here's the thing: because if your spouse, whether or not you're having a gay affair or a straight affair, an affair with whoever,
I
your
can't
spouse finds
remember.
out you're having an affair, you're gonna have an argument and it's gonna
Right.
get heated
Right. It's gonna get
and something's gonna happen. Like maybe he didn't do it on purpose, maybe he didn't kill his wife on purpose, but still, it doesn't negate that there's gonna be an argument when an affair is found out.
Right. I can't remember now how they found out that she found out that night.
Because the emails were like printed. Because the emails were printed and were like in his office, and the police found them like that night. They like had to go through his office,
Oh,
and they're like, "What are these?" And he's
they
like,
could see that
"Oh, well,
they had been
yeah,
printed that day.
yeah." And he was
Oh,
like, "Oh, yeah, well, that we were having an argument about that." Like they found the emails, and he had to admit to the argument right there.
okay.
You're on mute again.
I just
He found,
I'm glad
he
you
found,
figured it out.
he found her emails.
She found his emails. So he was having an affair
Right.
with a couple of men. And
multiple.
she found his, yeah, multiple men. She found his emails, and either they were printed out beforehand. I don't know why he would print them out beforehand, or maybe she found them and printed them out as proof to be like, even
Well,
to
that
probably
could
take to a
be.
divorce,
I never
to
looked
take
at
to a
that
divorce
angle.
attorney. Yeah,
I
like
never
to
looked at
take to
that
a
angle,
divorce.
but that's probably who printed them out. Was
Probably
she
who
did.
printed them out was she found these emails on his computer because she had to
Yeah,
use his
definitely.
computer, and she printed it out as proof because I'm sure like even if she confronts him, he's like, I'm going to divorce you because of this affair. It's easy to go delete emails, so she printed them out,
Yeah.
and they were probably left in his office or left outside or something, and the police
Yeah.
found them,
Or
and he
dropped
had
out,
to admit.
they were put somewhere. Or,
Yeah,
when,
maybe she even
when
hid
they
them.
got into that big
Probably
fight, they
did
were.
right on his desk. So that makes a lot of sense. She printed them out.
Probably printed them out.
Because she probably figured I'm never going to be able to get on this computer again, so I'm going to get proof
Mhm.
of that. Yeah. He was using some kind of service, like
An escort service.
it was multiple guys, and so there's lots of emails going back and forth. It wasn't emails neither. It was kind of like blogs or something where he's communicating with these guys. Wow. Well, okay. Anything else, you guys?
Craziness.
Yeah. I can't remember, but there was a reason that Kathleen's daughter flipped because at first she supported him,
Right.
and
Yes,
then
she
she
did.
found something out, and that's when she flipped. Was she like
I
after
did
the
see-
trial or something? I can't
She
remember.
was in an interview. See, that
Yeah.
it must have been on 60 Minutes because she was in an interview and it showed that she was, said, "Oh no, he didn't do it," and then all of a sudden, but I forgot what it was that.
She supported him right up until the end, and then something
Yeah.
made her go, right. Well, maybe
I
just
can't remember. It was
after
that. Yeah. Maybe. No. It's definitely an interesting case, though.
Yes. It's hard to fathom that there's that kind of stuff is going on in the world.
Yeah.
I remember at the time when I was watching the documentary, we were all watching it at work. So we'd come in every morning going like, oh my God, and stuff. So that was interesting.
It was when you were at Cybra?
No, at Young's.
Oh.
Yeah. Because it was
It
Michelle.
wasn't that long ago.
No, it's been
Was
since
it
I worked there. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted, but I've worked there a long time.
It's been out for
Okay.
a while.
Yeah.
I
But,
know that, but I was thinking like in the early 2000s, that this came out. But it would have been way after that.
No, the documentary it's a Netflix. Yeah, it's a Netflix. So
I don't think it came out on Netflix though. I think it was.
I'm sure there
Netflix.
was stuff out prior to that because it happened in what 96.
That's when they got married.
Yeah. Oh, that's when they got married. Yeah. So it happened. Actually, it happened in 2005. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And it was
Well, it
probably on the
was
news or
news at the
something.
time. Yeah.
Right. Right. But still, it was 17 years ago.
Yeah. Yep. And he's walking free.
Wow. Jess, you're too quiet tonight. No opinions?
Well, yes, but
Yeah. What? Well, shoot. Not literally. Just give us some feedback.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think it's, there's a lot of these kind of situations where the man has basically admitted or has been found guilty and he's out, he's free, because he needs a life too. He took a life.
Yeah. But
But
it
this
shouldn't
is an
ruin his.
okay. This is an okay situation where, it's okay to take a life. I guess in these situations.
Mm-hmm.
So, where are the pro-life
Well,
people in
you're
these
right.
situations?
I mean, look how many women that are in prison because they killed their husband after he's beaten them and threatened to kill them.
Yeah.
And really in
Right.
self-defense, they end
Yeah.
up that they're the ones that go to
Yeah.
jail the rest of their life.
Right.
They just got their lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more money and more lawyers. Yeah.
But not even that.
But
It's the court of public opinion. You
Right.
know, for women, if they kill their husband, they're crazy and money hungry and all this and that. But if it's the husband, well, what did she do to deserve
She
that?
should have made a better omelet.
Yeah. She shouldn't have found out about the gay affair happening.
Right.
Well,
Or she shouldn't have been
hormonal.
hormonal after having a baby,
Okay, guys. Anything else? We need to wrap up here. Okay. I love you guys. I'll see you
Me
next
too.
week. Everybody take care, share, like, and send us some emails to let us know that we're crazy as we think we are. Okay?
That's a given.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.